Hello everybody, Logan here with my second Triple Terror where I discuss Spirit Halloween items specifically. Guess I should have worded that better. This is the second Spirit Halloween Triple Terror, is what I'm saying. So today, Spirit has just been dishing out a whole bunch of animatronics. There has been a crap ton that just came out today, so instead of me just continuing on with the other two, I'm doing my wheel again, so I threw those other two into the wheel, and I'm just having these be randomly selected, and all that good stuff. I actually made the thumbnail for it. I was going to record it yesterday, and then I don't know, didn't really have the headspace. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My mental health really hasn't been that great, and this isn't like leading into a sponsorship, but I want to talk to you guys really quick before we really get into this video. Your mental health is important, and sometimes I catch myself, not really taking care of my personal mental health. So make sure you guys take care of yourselves, physically and mentally. It really does matter. Your mental health is incredibly important. Trust me. It's coming from somebody who has struggled with mental health issues for years. Now, with that out of the way, today I'm going to be discussing, we're talking about mental health. Alright, Halloween stuff. That's just how bipolar this channel gets. But with that whole thing out of the way, we're going to talk about the Possessed Pumpkin, Tombstone Terror, and the Widow, a animatronic that had a lot of mystery surrounding her up until this point. So, first up, let's talk about Possessed Pumpkin. Possessed Pumpkin is our new animatronic from Party Time Costumes. This animatronic features a big pumpkin. This animatronic is a colossal pumpkin animatronic that is essentially a reskin of Crouchy. It has the same proportions, even has like the same claws, but instead of it being, like a clown, it's just a big like pumpkin scarecrow. Cosmetically, this looks awesome. I love the head. I like the big fangs, the big imposing teeth. Those eyes look really cool. The claws are really neat too. I'm surprised they're not like splattered with blood like Crouchy was. I'm surprised he doesn't have any blood at all like Crouchy did. That was something I noticed almost immediately, was there's no blood on this, Where's the blood? Because Crouchy had blood all over his claws and his mouth. That was kind of peculiar to me. He's got a lot of straw in him too. Very like, what's the word? Like dense. A dense amount of straw all over his clothing, which again I like that they did that. It was kind of like my same praise for the face of Scarecrow. And then kind of where he falls flat is the clothing. I wish they would have added something more dynamic, maybe like a flannel, something more tread Scarecrow, if that makes sense. So I wish they would have gone with a more traditional approach, even like giving him like a big pumpkin like scarecrow hat, like the one we saw. I don't know why I had to specify pumpkin scarecrow, but like the one we saw at what was it, that really friendly scarecrow, I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about, that had like the really big head. I think it was Costco. That would have made him huge, like way bigger than Crouchy. That would have been just kind of cool to do. Now, that aside, his price, he is more than Crouchy was, at a whopping $329.99. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Now, Crouchy was $300, and I thought the $300 was pretty steep, And really, the only difference between him and Crouchy is A, he has less clothing because he doesn't have shoes. He has light up eyes, which Crouchy never did, and he has phrases. And that's right, this one actually has phrases. Now, at first glance, I expected this animatronic to just laugh, like have a big, hearty laugh, like Crouchy did. And then this video came out, and then I saw, and then I heard that he had phrases. And his voice, it just wasn't good. He kind of sounded like if Cookie Monster took steroids. It didn't sound right. It kind of sounds like this. I mean, that's literally what he sounds like, and I wasn't there for it. I wasn't feeling the vibe with that one. I thought it sounded way too goofy. It was jarring to hear that come from such like a really kind of intimidating looking prop. And then he sounds like this. If looks could have saved that animatronic, but no, like that voice was too outrageous. And it's kind of like they were kind of trying to copy the same, jumbled on my words. They were kind of trying to copy the same shtick that Pumpkin Nester had about like the carving up someone's head and taking their head and using a jack-o'-lantern. It did not work for him. Pumpkin Nester, though, he was insane and crazy. He sounded like just an off his rocker old man. This one just, he sounds like a Muppet, you know? He sounds very kid-friendly, like a kid-friendly monster, and I don't like it. And especially for 330, I mean, goodness gracious, guys. Not my favorite. It fell down for me. Looks, though, it looks great. I love the look. I wish it had some more interesting and dynamic clothing. That is kind of my biggest complaint in the cosmetic department. But, like, the head and the hands, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, the hands don't have anything not to be happy about. Well, actually, I do. You know, one thing I wish they would have changed on the hands is instead of him having claws, because he's a pumpkin monster, it would have been more interesting if they gave him these big, like, sharp roots, almost, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys are kind of picking up what I'm putting down, but I feel like that would have been a really interesting thing to do. And again, it would have been some more dynamic detailing for him. You know, that would have been kind of cool. I mean, I like the claws. It's just, you know, do a little extra mile. I know he has some, like, humanoid features with the eyes and the teeth, so I guess it kind of makes sense he has claws, but, I mean, if I were to have done him myself, he would not have had eyeballs or teeth. I would have given him, like, a jagged, carved face, and I would have given him, like, sharp, rooted hands. His hands wouldn't have been orange, first of all. I think that just looks too weird. They would have been green, and they would have looked like roots, if that makes sense to anyone else. Since pumpkins have a lot of roots and vines, you know. I would have made him look a little more organic instead of humanoid and mutant, because I don't think it worked for this one. So anyway, enough with my crazy rambling. Let's watch the video.
Little monsters have been carving up my friends for years. Now it's my turn to make a jack-o'-lantern. From your head!
So ooh, wow, I just had like a stroke. Our second animatronic is the Tombstone Terror by SLA, or Sound and Light Animatronics. This is a new company for this season. We have never seen them do anything for Spirit, and now from what I understand, this is a in-house production company. Now, I've also found conflicting information. Thank you so much to Cole Walker, who brought this to my attention, that there is an actual company called Sound and Light Animatronics that produces various animated tabletop decor and toys and all that, so I'm really not sure which source is correct, if they were bought out by Spencer's, or, you know, what kind of the situation is with Sound and Light right now. Well, this is Tombstone Terror. This is kind of the budget prop, despite it being at $110, which to me personally isn't very budget friendly. When I think of a budget prop, I think of $100 below. You know, some good examples would be like Experiment 4 or Mommy's Favorite, our two previous budget props. So I think this is the lowest animatronic that we have. I'm pretty sure it is. This is one that's pretty widely disliked, and I also really don't like it. There's just, I'll space here a lot of banging. I'm so sorry. It's the person next door. He's working on stuff. I don't know if he's gonna pick up my mic, but if you hear that, that's why. There's just like not a lot going on with this particular item here. It has a very generic plastic skull. You know, it's not like an interesting or unique sculpt or even like a zombie. Like, this could have been a flashback to the techie pop-up zombie, for example, or even the werewolf. I don't know. I don't really know how liked the werewolf is, but it could have been one of those. Instead, it's kind of just a generic skull, and I think it has some like white creepy cloth at the base of the neck, so kind of pops up a little bit, but it's not really all that noticeable, so it's kind of pointless. And then it's got this pretty generic, I'm assuming it's a foam tombstone. I don't think it's plastic. It doesn't look plastic when they zoom in. It looks like a foam tombstone. It looks like it's painted like a traditional foam tombstone. It does look pretty thick on the sides. I think that's mainly to hide the mechanism of the skull. It does look like they did a small alteration where it looks like he's got this angry expression. That's really all they did. Again, it's just one of those where I want more from it, because I know Spirit does some really dope stuff. People have called this like a CVS prop, and I have to agree. This is something I would see from CVS, and not something I would ever, I guess, expect from Spirit of all companies, because Spirit usually has like really good designs. And I mean, I do have a really high standard for Spirit because I know they can do really cool stuff. This really isn't it. I want to see more from SLA though. I want to see what else they can do in future seasons. Maybe this is a fluke, you know? Call me optimistic, but maybe this one is just a fluke, and maybe we'll get something better next season. I don't know. If you like to customize stuff like I do though, this is perfect for customization. The audio is just him like, I think it's him like going raw or something. I can't really remember the audio. So it's nothing like specific, if that makes sense. So it leaves a lot more room for customizing, which is perfect, especially for someone like me who loves to customize animatronics. So I definitely might pick him up just for that, you know, cheaper, I don't want to say cheap, it's not totally cheap, but that cheaper price tag, and do some really cool customization with it. And I'm curious to see if anyone else would do customizations with this, like KMT Halloween. Anyway, without further ado, let's go on with the video. Before we continue, I want to go ahead and apologize for the background noise. I have a fan running next to me. Hopefully it's not blowing into the mic. I already had to re-record once because it was blowing right into the mic and you could not hear a word I was saying, and I hate how that sounds. It's really hot. It's the summer. It's humid. It's gross. And I've been kind of recording these segments at different times because I've just been so busy and life has just been so hectic. So with that out of the way, let's discuss our final animatronic, The Widow by Crazy Create. The Widow is our final not our final, why did I say final? The Widow is our first online-only animatronic. My brain was thinking that she was the last one. No. We have not seen the rest yet. This is our first online-only animatronic, and this one was revealed in the teasers. Her audio was revealed in the second teaser, the one with like the red room with the cage where Lord Raven was filmed. And then was later shown off in the, what was that teaser? And then in the official exploration video of the Black Castle. This was an animatronic that caught a lot of people's attention. And when she first was, hinted at and then was revealed, a lot of people thought that this was going to be an inbox-only animatronic, and including myself. And I was really hoping that she was going to be an inbox-only animatronic. And then I remembered something. There was a link. There was an animatronic link that had a name revealed early on. Now, there were two animatronic links that were really weird because they had names and not anim numbers. And that was CCL, Christine, and YJ Swinging Big Head Clown. I kind of did some thinking. I was like, well, what if this is Christine? And there was something special about that link. I always thought there was something special about that link, that maybe she was supposed to be revealed early on or something along those lines. And there's a lot of discourse about that link and the clown, because a lot of people thought, well, if they were an animatronic, they wouldn't have their names up. Well, those are code names, because it turns out my hunch was correct. This was Christine. So just a fun little tidbit there. Now, this animatronic is very unique. We've never had anything actually like this, as she snaps her own neck. She'll stand there and she'll laugh, and then suddenly her head just jolts to the side, and you see like her spine just popping out from beneath her skin like it's dislodged. And you hear this really just gut-wrenching, just bone snap. I love that. I eat that up. That is such a good scare tactic. You're not expecting that, and there's not a big build-up to it either. It's just like it's like a second and a half laugh, and then it's just snap, and it's really fast. And then it's a scream, and then she keeps laughing. The laugh is weird. I do think the laugh sounds like a weird chipmunk laugh, and that's really my only issue with it. But besides that, I think it's really solid and a really cool animatronic. And actually, the look, that face sculpt is phenomenal. It really shows that Spirit is trying to do better looking faces. And of course, it's Crazy Crate, and Crazy Crate does really solid face sculpts most of the time. So I wasn't surprised when I figured out this was Crazy Crate. But with that face sculpt and the movement, it saved her. It really did. And with her audio track being so short, it doesn't bother me as much as like Possessed Pumpkin, for example, where his audio track is really long and I have to listen to this voice, So that saved her. There's really not a lot to say about the clothing. I do like the little necklace they gave her. It's a nice little touch. And with her being a widow, I would have given her a different outfit. Something close to Flaming Black Widow, actually. How her outfit was a little more extravagant and had more detail to it. Instead of it just being this plain, dark gown, she had a veil, she had gloves, she had a lot more going on. And that's what I would have done with this one as well. I'm not sure why they went with this very bland choice. Maybe it was a cost thing, but the necklace was a good... Ooh, man. I hate that I chronically yawn during every video. The necklace is a good touch, and I would have added a ring to her ring finger because she is a widow. just like a little detail there as well. I would have added some little itty bitty details, you know, but the sculpt does make up for it. Again, she has a really good sculpt, and she reminds me a lot of demonic Dahlia. And I would actually display those two together. Have Dahlia on like a rocking chair and have her beside Dahlia, like kind of behind Dahlia in the chair, like they're posing for a photograph. And if you can find one of those old timey cameras and aim it at them like they're about to take a photo together. Oh, dude. Double whammy right there. Like, that would look so cool. Like, they're this set of, like, really creepy, evil, like, possessed sisters. Dude, come on. That would be a really cool display right there. I would do that if I had demonic Dahlia, but I never bothered to get her. But that was just kind of a little idea that I just created for you little display freaks out there. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this one is $200, which surprises me because I thought she was going to be more towards $300 like everything else is. Her being $200, I mean, it's pretty reasonable to me. She's 5'8", which is pretty close to 6 foot. She's got a really good animation, really well done sculpt, so I'll have to say yes to that. She's a life-size jump scare, and a unique one too, just for what she does. So I will go and say yes to this one. And you know, with the OSI shipping and everything, it really won't make it too unbearable, unlike perhaps like nozzles, for example. So that was kind of Spirit giving us some mercy here, because God, the shipping and everything, it kills you guys. It nickels and dimes us to death, especially if you're our Canadian friends. Goodness gracious. Yeah, this is what I definitely plan on picking up. As of right now, she is on the website, but she is not available for purchase. Same thing with Possessed Pumpkin. When I first recorded his little segment, he was on the website yet. He is now, but again, he is not available for purchase. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure when they'll be available for purchase. She has had no shipments in yet, according to Halloween Haunter. So I kind of don't know what's going on with her. She might be post flagship when she'll be stocked. So it's a bummer, but it happens, you know. But yeah, let's move on to that demo. So yeah, that was today's Triple Terror. What do you guys think? You know, how are we feeling about these 3 animatronics? Are we liking them? Are we disliking them? And are we vibing with them? I'm not really too big on the first 2, but the Widow, that one is on my list. I want to get it. I really like her. I think she is really neat. And yeah, I'm really excited. Flagship opening is just around the corner, and I am so excited. I don't know about you guys. I cannot wait to see everything in action. I cannot wait to hear everything's audio. I really want to see those ISC walkthroughs, and I really want to see all the new stuff. I'm so excited. I don't know how excited you guys are, but I am totally stoked. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and while you're at it, hit that little notification bell. You'll be notified, I don't know, whenever I feel like uploading, which is pretty sporadic right now. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.